Tell us about the quarter itself, more importantly, the current quarter where we have already seen about 7 weeks. Are you going to see a sharp cut in revenues this quarter?
Not really. If you look at the last quarter, our generation was down by 3%. And that was down primarily because, in the long-term PPA, under the long-term PPA, the power sale was down by 15%. But under the short-term contract, it was up by 30%. But year on year, if you see that the same thing was 4% down on the generation, but in case of the PPA short sales, it was down by 6%, and short-term power sales was down by 12%. Now, precisely, this was happening because, both renewable as well as the hydropower, they enjoy the must-run status. That's why the generation was down by the thermal generators in order to manage the demand. Now, current quarter, if you are looking at it, what we saw last quarter, the power demand went up by 1.9%, which was on the back of the robust power demand in the month of January and February, because in January it was up by 3.8% and February was 11.8%. But in March, it came down by 8.4%. Now, in the last week of March, when the lockdown was announced, at that point of time, power went down by 27%. Then it got moderated to 23% in the month of April. Now, in first 15 days of May, the power demand is down by 19%. So you are seeing the gradual recovery in power demand. Now, if I give you the profile of power demand also, Northeast, what we are seeing, that power demand is completely recovered. So it is more than the last year. And in Eastern region, it is down by 5 to 6%. And in South, it is down by 9 to 10%. Problem is in the North and West, where the power demand is down by 19 to 22%. So we are going to see a gradual recovery. What demand growth or what demand number I'm talking, it is primarily from the distribution company. You need to see that the demand by the large industry is met by their captive resources. So that is not captured here. Here, the demand drop is primarily from the commercial establishment as well as the MSME.
Okay. Well, you've certainly used your EBITDA very carefully to bring down debt. Can you give us some ballpark? I mean, will you be able to make 600 crore of EBITDA in this quarter also? And will it also be used for further reduction of debt?
Our plant is having a seasonality because of the hydro generation, and because of that, our generation as well as EBITDA is more in the quarter 1 and quarter 2. I want to clarify two things. One is that, 95% of our EBITDA is coming from the long-term PPAs. And that's why, being in essential sector, we are absolutely immune for that particular segment. Only 5% of our EBITDA is, subjected to the, merchant tariffs and then demand per se. And all our plants, like in case of a hydro plant, the scheduling is 100%. In our Maharashtra plant, PPA, the scheduling is 100%. And in fact, in our Rajasthan plant also, scheduling is more than what we were seeing earlier. And that's the point typically which I have been making, that, the most important thing in the power sector is that you have to be in the bottom quartile for the purchase basket of a particular discom. Thereby, you enjoy the merit order dispatch as well as payments on priority. And that's what JSW Energy could capitalize in this quarter also, and in coming quarters also. There will be no impact of COVID-19.
Okay. So there's not been any impact of COVID-19 on your operational performance, but it has impacted your acquisition plans. I understand that Kamalanga has been on hold as well. At any point, are you willing to relook at that acquisition, considering that, the lockdown has gotten extended in certain states like Maharashtra? So what is the game plan there?
Precisely, you are right. We have put the acquisition on hold for the time being because we are seeing uncertainty in power demand and as well as the recovery in the economy, because we need to really see how the MSME sector is panning out and how this migrant labor issues which are there in the country, they are panning out. And then because, already power sector was pretty much stressed, and now on top of it, then further Discom health had become poorer. So that's why we have put the acquisition plan on hold, and we will be reevaluating it once we see the normal operations are in place.